I was a skeptic of tapping until I started looking at the research. Tapping, for those of you who don't know, or emotional freedom techniques, is a psychological intervention that combines acupressure points, cognitive behavior therapy, and exposure therapy to address a variety of physical and psychological conditions, everything from anxiety, depression, PTSD, insomnia, pain, fibromyalgia. And I was really blown away by the research on something that I had more or less poo-pooed when I had heard of it before. As a therapist, it did seem a little bit out there. But looking at the research and then more or less understanding why this technique would have this impact, I became a kind of a convert to it. And then and there's no reason it shouldn't work for tinnitus, actually. And as I start looking around on the web and places, there are a few videos on this, but some of them are not very adequate. Some of them actually vary widely from the protocol. One that's on this very famous tapping app that you'll pay $100 for. It's interesting, but it changes the protocol of the standard protocol, which is found in the EFT manual. And this protocol is what's been tested. So you more or less want to stick with the tested protocol. Changing it's fine, but let's do the standard protocol and see if it works. And if we need to change it, we change it. I actually do make one slight adjustment I'll talk about that I think is required with tinnitus, because it does present a unique challenge. So what is tapping, emotional freedom techniques? So let me, I guess, go through the process with a kind of generic situation and then talk about how we apply it to tinnitus. So we start the process by, say we're dealing with some condition, psychological, physical, and we want to get a sense of where it's landing on us right now. So we rate it from typically 0 to 10. And we just kind of get a sense, what am I working with, and close your eyes and just feel what's your level of distress about this issue. Again, it could be anything. We'll apply it to tinnitus. And then we start next with what's called a setup phrase. This is really crucial. The setup phrase involves both a statement of the distress and a level of understanding and self-compassion with respect to it. These play two very different and complementary roles. By stating what's troubling us, and we start with even though I have X, even though I'm depressed, even though I have trauma about this situation, and I'm just going to repeat the phrase as it is in the book, because again, we're going to stick pretty closely to the established protocol. Even though I had this dreadful car crash, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have this migraine headache, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have this fear of heights, I deeply and completely accept myself. So we're doing a couple things there. We're putting ourselves in the stressful situation, exposing ourselves to sitting with it, and we're also throwing a big dose of self-compassion. And what we know is that self-compassion is very good at down-regulating the system, bringing on the parasympathetic nervous system. So that's our first move, and actually we do that while doing our first tapping. And our first tapping is on what's called the karate chop point. So we hit this thing and we say the phrase 3 times. Even though I X, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have X, I deeply and completely accept myself. Though I have X, I deeply and completely accept myself. And then we do the tapping sequence, and there's 8 points, and at each of these points we repeat what's called a reminder phrase. And this is where I do a slight variation. And let me explain. The reminder phrase is typically just a statement of what we're confronting. And the thing about with tinnitus, we don't really need to, because it's there. The stress is there, the distress is there. So in addition to keeping that distress before ourselves, we want also to just and this is really important, just accept that it's okay that it's here. This is a really big part of mindfulness. This is a mindfulness-based approach. Example, we don't want to change what's there, because when we want to change this particular situation, I no longer want to be anxious, just calm down. I'm going to calm down. That's about as effective as telling yourself, I'm going to go to sleep, right? It actually boomerangs. So we're just trying to, in our reminder phrase, just engage with, it's all right that this is here right now. I'm just okay with this stress, this distress, whatever it is. Again, we're just opening up to a level of acceptance. And what we know is, trying to change a situation, be it pain or anxiety, only boomerangs. It increases the anxiety. I got to relax. Well, good luck with that. On the other, what we resist persists. On the other hand, basic level of acceptance, we know, will relax the body, and we do that in conjunction with various tappings. And those tappings are 8. As I said, we start. I'll just read the protocol here, so we get all the tapping situations correct. Top of the head, in the center of an imaginary line crossing the ear. So we're tapping there with 2 fingers. Tap number 1, saying our reminder phrase, and we'll go on this with tinnitus. The start of the eyebrow, and you got 2 choices. You can actually tap on both where the eyebrow connects to the bridge of the nose. And again, you're saying your reminder phrase. And then where it joins the end, the outer side of the eye socket. And then under the bridge of the eye, on the bony ridge of the eye socket, under the nose, again tapping 7 times roughly, so repeating our phrase, between the lower lip and the chin, and then on the collarbone point, to locate this point, place the finger in the notch between your collarbone, where they come down. Move your finger down about 1 inch and you'll find a hollow in the breastbone. Now move to the side about another inch. So it's a little off center, and you can do both sides at once or one side. And then finally, we're doing 4 inches under the armpit. And for women, this is where the bra hits. And we're going to repeat our phrase. So for tinnitus, again, I like to hold the, let's say the situation is I am, anxious about the tinnitus, especially about it increasing in volume, or I'm afraid that it's never going to go down. Pick one of those. Maybe you have both. And so the setup phrase would be, even though I'm fearful my tinnitus will not go back to its normal level, let's say we're in a spike, I deeply and completely accept myself. And that's here. And then with the phrase for the reminder phrase, it's okay to be afraid that my tinnitus won't go down. Just something I accept that this is what is happening now. Fear is what is happening now. So we're going to do this sequence, starting with the sensing what's going on. My tinnitus is spiking. I'm feeling pretty up there, and it's maybe an 8. I'm afraid it won't go down. So my setup phrase is, and I'm going to do this 3 times while I'm tapping here, is, even though I'm afraid my tinnitus won't go down, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm afraid my tinnitus won't go down, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm afraid my tinnitus won't go down, I deeply and completely accept myself. Then I start next, top of the head. It's okay to be afraid right now. This fear is what is happening now. It's okay to have fear about tinnitus. This is what is happening now. It's okay to be afraid accept my fear. This fear is what is happening now. That's one time. And yeah, you might want to do it once, twice, or 3 times. I want to do it more than 3 times. And then sit back and return, well, how am I feeling about it right now? And that's the process. So use it if you like. There are, again, a lot of videos, information about this. Not all of them are, that accurate. I've given you what's from, again, the standard protocol, the EFT manual by Dawson Church. And see how it works for you. And if you get a chance, let me know. This video, again, if you like it, I have this channel. If you could push like or join the channel, that would be great to help us get more folks coming here and not having to pay hundreds of dollars for a tapping video or a tapping recording on an app that doesn't even get it all that right. So thanks for showing up.